Let me take a big gulp. Okay. I hope you're fucking ready for this. That's all I'm gonna say, chat. I hope you're fucking ready for this. Welcome to my video, everyone. Welcome to my video, everyone. Come on through. Hey, welcome. Come on down. Welcome to my fucking video. Come on in. Welcome. Okay, chat. First thing we're gonna talk about radio station predictions. Okay? We're gonna talk about what radio stations do we think are gonna be in GTA 6. Okay? Okay, let's get right into it. Obvious pick. Just fucking have all of the most popular songs from the Vice City soundtrack as like a throwback station. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense, right? Obvious choice, throwing a lot of the best Vice City stations. I forgot that I typed what I was gonna say. Let's go. Let me know if the music's too loud. Let's go. Billie Jean type shit, Hall & Oates type shit, Foreigner on an MF. I've been waiting for a girl like you. Will there be questions at the end? For sure. You can ask questions whenever you want, and you grade my presentation. Okay? Nuked VOD. Yeah, absolutely. I'll try to put it on YouTube as well and just not put ads on it. Fuck it. It's a proper PowerPoint. You just read from the script. Yeah, okay. And the radio DJ is, drumroll please, Tony, same host from Flash FM that was also on Flashback in GTA 3. Voice actor still alive. I checked, not that she would be that old. That made it sound like she should be dead. That was weird. Okay, moving on. Diplo radio. I mean, come on. This feels like such an obvious pick. Based on what they've done before, the title says it all. He's a Florida native. He's super popular. Covers all these different genres. Ranged from EDM, dancehall. He went through a country phase. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this one makes a lot of sense given where the game's gonna take place. All that shit Diplo is into, like how Flylo FM and GTA 5 was Flylo's curating, but now it's Diplo now. You know what I'm saying? I felt pretty confident on this one. Radio DJ is me. Just kidding. It's Diplo, Florida native. Okay, moving on. Well, first, any comments, any concerns, do you agree, do you disagree? Let's turn this down just a tiny bit. Blonde, see, that's what I'm saying. Blonded was fucking goated. That'd be sick. Agreed. You could have everything from like, you know, Skrillex, all that Jack U shit, to his country stuff, to the fucking like dancehall shit. Problematic F, true, but that hasn't stopped him before. Okay, moving on. I mean, come on. Like, in GTA 5, the pop station was a lot of like early 2000s shit. This would be the equivalent of that. Let's just turn this up for a second and just... Yo, Prevail. Basil flipping into like a G6. Yo, sorry to just flashbang you guys with the 2010s, but tell me I'm wrong. Huge popular ass songs baked into everyone's brains, whether you want them or not. Coney 2012 type beat. Shit like Flo Rida, David Guetta, old Nicki Minaj, Starships, Pitbull, obviously. Think like a G6, like a G6, you know, like this, you know what I'm saying? Radio DJ is, come on, it's fucking Pitbull, duh. Florida native, Miami, fucking ran this generation. I think it's too obvious, honestly. Thank you. Once I was thinking about that, I was like, a pop station that has Pitbull or just like fucking club music from this era seems so obvious. It's like a G6 coming inside me. Black Eyed Peas. Pitbull will be in the game, not gonna lie. Dude, straight up. Okay, moving on. I mean, it's fucking Leonida, modern country. You know what I'm saying? You might not like it, but they're not only gonna have, you know, the shit you like, they're gonna have some shit like this. Some of us like it, some of us don't. No thanks, and you lost me. See? Lost you, but you know this. They're gonna cover this base, because GTA 6 is gonna be played by a lot more people than just you, and if it's gonna take place where it is, Florida Georgia Line type shit, baby. You saw that shit, roll my windows down a cruise type shit. Morgan Wallen, Luke Combs, Post Malone's new shit, Miranda Lambert type bit. Tell me I'm wrong. Design on this slide is incredible. Hosted by Jelly Roll. You motherfucker. It is Jelly Roll. How the fuck did you know I put that? How the fuck did you know? See? Let me pause. That's how you know that last night I tapped into some third eye shit that someone else already said it. Maybe it's way too obvious. They won't. Rockstar's really good at not doing obvious things, but like hip hop, you know what hip hop is. Trust me, you've heard it. It's just like pop rap that's racist. It's like country rap shit. Parallel thinking, baby. That's what I'm saying. She thinks my tractor's sexy. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it Lauren. This one, we can all get on board. Think about playing San Andreas. Think about playing GTA 5. You're cruising out on the highways. You need that old school honky tonk. You don't think you like country? You're cruising between San Fierro and fucking Los Santos. Some shit comes on. Hank Williams. Basically confirmed in the trailer when Jason is driving around, when he's like looking at his fucking neighbor, Andy Power, thank you for Basil flipping. Stoked on this as I love the country station in prior games, while on the highways, everything I just said, you know what I'm saying? Big Iron and GTA, that's what I'm saying. Dolly Parton, Waylon Jennings type shit, but also nostalgic for me, some 90s more like Brooks and Dunn, Shania Twain, Feel Like a Woman type shit, like getting a slightly more poppy, but like, you know, some like 90s, 2000s George Strait type Cracker Barrel radio, straight up, brother. Having just been in Tennessee, that influenced this 100%. The DJ radio host, this is a bit of a stretch. Fuck it, Dolly Parton. Call it Dolly Radio. I don't think that's she's the fucking GOAT. She's still alive. Hopefully for many more years. That would go crazy. I think they have the budget and the ability to keep it a secret, to let this rip. You know what I'm saying? Billy Ray Cyrus would go crazy. Actually, I didn't even think about that. Way down yonder to the Chattahoochee. Dude, my girlfriend sings that shit all the time. Fun people just Basil flipped into the pit. Let's fucking go. Bro, that meme video got me laughing so hard I got all fucking hot. I gotta open my window. I'm like sweating in here. Okay, let's keep it moving. I mean, you could have a billion stations that are like each more curated, but you know they gotta fucking represent that Memphis shit, that Florida shit. Come on. Project Pat. What do you think I'm doing out here? Classic shit like Outkast, 3-6, Project Pat. See, so far Chat and I are definitely in sync. This is making me feel really valid. What song is this? This is Mike Jones. Still tipping. Oh shit, I gotta turn that back on. Hold up. Oh no, it's on stream. You can see it in the top left. You're good. I thought I had that shit turned off. Okay. But also 2000s shit, like Lil Wayne, Ludacris, or what's playing right now, Mike Jones. So it could be, more 90s, 2000s, but fuck it, peak SoundCloud era as well, because so many of these motherfuckers are from Florida or surrounding. That like golden era Suicide Boys, X, Ski Mask, Kodak, Puya, several Florida natives in there. But I also realized while I was making this, that could be its whole own station. I kind of lumped them together, but that with like Puya or Ski Mask as the host, as like a 2016 type era station. Denzel Curry, yes, 100%. Forgot to put him in here, but honest, you know what? Something about Denzel and his like just fucking presence in, I feel like the gaming community too. Maybe it's just because in CS he has I am the one. That's like one of the kill songs you can have in CS. But I think if that era was its own station, or fuck it, even if it's not that era, I could totally see Denzel as having his own station. That actually feels more accurate. Okay, but someone said Big X host, DJ radio host is. I felt like Big Boy. I know he's not from Florida, but as just a fucking legend in this, I just, for whatever reason, I felt like Big Boy could definitely curate a crazy playlist. But I also think like Project Pat, Juicy J, if it's like older stuff, but then I think like a Denzel Curry for a more modern shit would go crazy. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Moving on. Okay, now we're getting a little bit more creative. Now we're getting more into the the modern, ethereal shit that's really popular on the internet. I'm talking TikTok edits. I'm talking ambient, like, rap music that's been chopped and fucking destroyed with reverb. You know what I'm saying? Ozzy Darko, thank you for Basil flipping into the pit. Think like The Journey in GTA 4, but more modern stuff from the corners of internet, designed to make you float like you took Ambient, but you didn't fall asleep. I also thought this name for a station goes fucking hard, called Ambient, TikTok radio, essentially. You know what I'm saying? Basically those YouTube vids that are just slowed plus reverb, but as a more curated playlist. Definitely voiced by an AI. You motherfuckers keep spoiling my playlist. Potentially some shit that's been chopped and screwed. And the host is ChatGPT machine learning type motherfucker who says different shit depending on what the player is doing, leading to spooky vibe. So if you're like taking a right on a fucking street that's in the northern part of the map, they could be like, if you're listening to this on Baker Street, you should like, see? Justin Bieber slowed 8,000%. Yeah, dude, we've all seen those videos. Come on now. Magdalena Bay. Rah! Yeah, you already know. Okay, moving on. You know, with Rockstar Games, they gotta have some like goofy news, comedian shit, but with podcasts being so just overtake, everyone has a fucking podcast. It would have a podcast style format with call-ins and interviews, but interviews with celebrities, real or fictional, from the game's universe, like other DJs or notable NPCs from previous games like Laszlo or Lamar or fucking Roman. You know what I'm saying? That's an easy way for like old recognizable people to come on, and those voice actors, you know, you saying Theo Von, I should have picked that. Honestly, that's the obvious pick, but you'll see what I picked. Podcast format with sponsor reads, spoofing real sponsors like BetterHelp, because you know Rockstar with the spoofing in GTA, you know that they would have some made up shit, be like, this is brought to you by Wetter Felt. That's horrible, but you know what I mean. They do some spoof. Joe Rogan station, well, just you wait. I picked Daniel Tosh because he's from Florida, and I feel like his podcast has been popping off, but I'm gonna have to agree with chat that I think a Theo Von type is a way more accurate pick. I would take Daniel Tosh because I still like Daniel Tosh, but Joe Rogan satire will for sure be in the game, you motherfucker. What do you think is next? Come on now. Discussing the controversial politics of Leonida and insane conspiracy theories, some of which the player will discover to be true. So you could be listening to this Alex Jones, Joe Rogan ass shit that's like, Bigfoot ain't fucking real, but I saw him up in here, blah, blah, blah. And then as the player, you'd be like, all right, what if I do go to that part of the map? See, me and chat, we're in sync. Clearly making fun of shit like the Joe Rogan experience with its tone. But I went a little bit more creative with this, that I don't know if they could pull it off. But in some spoof shit, I think that they could be voiced by someone like Eric Andre, who's an expert in spoofing shit, and also he's a Florida native, so that had me tap in. That I think that I could see someone like, or a comedian like him, voice acting an imaginary, you know what I'm saying? It's not the most expected, but I think I kind of cooked with this one, you know what I'm saying? It's not what you expected, right? But, yo, Anderson, is that Joseph Anderson? He's raiding with a party of 877. Joseph Anderson in the chat. Yo, everyone comment your favorite 8-hour video in the chat right now. Connor O'Malley, that would go crazy. Actually, that would be the most in touch with like modern comedy shit move Rockstar can make, is if they gave Connor O'Malley his whole own station. That's a crazy, or Tim Heidecker. Yeah, no, I really like that pick, but now let's count down to 877. I can't, man. I can't do it. God of War, almost a masterpiece. There you go. That's one. Dark Souls 3 DLC review, part 79. That's my favorite. Open up the pit. Let all these motherfuckers dance around in here. Uncut Moose. Uncut Jams. Uncut Moose is in here. He's cut. Let me put my country music back on. Let's all enjoy this. Okay, we're not done yet, though. We're not done. Okay, we're moving on. Moving on, chat. Zach Fox would go hard. Yeah, you guys are saying a lot of shit that's really in tune. So now we're going to move on to gameplay. And this is going to be a bit more of a back and forth with chat. If you'll have me. McFinger Whopperburger. Appreciate you throwing a ball. Okay, I just got demons coming inside me, 8th version. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Return to realistic cars and car handling. Is this a clickbait thumbnail? Yes. But also no, but also yes. Check me out. More focus on realism versus GTA 5, because they toned a lot of that shit down. Think back to 4, but honestly, even more advanced than that. Like, we're basically Forza Horizon at this point. Like, we're nearing car sim, because after Red Dead 2, what the fuck do you expect? They're gonna simulate how the color of your exhaust based on how many fucking the miles you've driven. You know what I'm saying? E30 confirmed in game. That's what I'm saying. GTA 4 felt slippery. That's what I mean. Of like, GTA 4 was realistic in a way that wasn't realistic, but like made you think it was because it was so ridiculous. But I think that 6 will definitely take more of a Forza Horizon approach, where it's like realistic while still being arcadey, but having depth. You know what I mean? Like different tire traction, different fucking... Anyways, let's keep going. Cars can finally run out of gas. This is where, I like how you have songs in the PowerPoint. Well, I have them coordinated aside, but thank you. I appreciate you appreciating the effort. So, I think the fact that 5M is as popular as it is, I think that is influencing a shit ton of choices they're going to make. And these are all just my predictions and honestly my wish list, but I think that that's something they could definitely consider, because they always have a bunch of gas stations, and on 5M they added that where you actually have to interact with those things, and clearly people are so into that. You know what I'm saying? More detailed damage simulation on all parts of the car, because with GTA 5 I feel like over time they gradually tone that down more and more with GTA Online. And even GTA 5 compared to GTA 4, the damage models in 4 were fucking crazy and could do all sorts of insane shit, and I feel like they're gonna bring it back to that way. You know what I'm saying? You're one smart yo, Big Body Rick, appreciate you, dog. Am I though? Or am I just fucking insane? But appreciate you. I'd make an incentive to steal more cars in a chase if you get a car with low gas. Yes, I don't even have to say anything. You get why I think it would be a really interesting choice that would also add to the immersion in a Red Dead 2 type way. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep going. Flying out of the car with ridiculous physics like GTA 4, Red Dead 2 is back, baby. You fucking hit something on your horse in Red Dead, you go flying in a way that's so hilarious and kind of realistic. GTA 4 flying out of the windshield felt way more ridiculous. In 5, you can, but it takes so much, and the Euphoria stuff just all felt super toned down. I think that there's been enough things online. Samwise, thank you for joining the pit. There's been enough stuff online of people being like, GTA 4 was actually better over time, which I think it's popular to just have like a contrarian opinion because 5 is so popular. But I do think Rockstar definitely has had to pay attention to Ryanator, thank you for basil flipping, to the fact that people really liked that shit. You know what I'm saying? They liked the fucking ridiculous physics, and so many people have brought up that comparison, and I think after how insane Red Dead 2 physics were, they gotta be cranking Euphoria again. Come on now. Okay. Stealing and driving cars is going to be way more involved. In 4, they made you mash buttons and Nico actually took a second sometimes. In 5, it was the same thing, but they kind of toned it down. To Fustercluck, Basil flipped, and he had this idea as well, or she, or they. Appreciate you. As a huge Chinatown Wars fan that a lot of people write off as just a mobile spin-off, no, it's an official GTA game with GTA 4's whole map on a DS or PSP, and it's one of my favorite GTA games. This is one of the reasons why. The drug dealing as well, which also... Okay, this is a tangent. Someone asked, Hantorino, thank you for Basil Flip. Someone asked what some of my favorite Games That Shebang episodes I made were. The Chinatown Wars X Skyrim is one of my favorites because I was basically like, what if you had an open world game that was like an RPG, but you were manufacturing and selling drugs? Schedule 1 came out. I'm not saying I'm the reason that game exists. I'm not saying it's the same exact shit I said, because it wasn't. It was way smarter, but I'm just saying that fucking mini game of dealing and selling making and selling drugs. Anyways, Chinatown Wars has a lot of good shit. Similar to Chinatown Wars minigames where it's different methods depending on year of car. So as you see in these shitty pictures, sometimes you have to crank a screwdriver, sometimes you had to like cut wires, sometimes you had to fucking hot wire. Actually, that one was disarming a bomb. I got the wrong picture, but you get the idea. It's like little, obviously in a game that's not gonna have these pop-up screens, but I think that they could have just a little bit more in-depth. So like, if you're breaking the glass on some Last of Us 2 part shit, or Last of Us Part 2 type shit, my brain is fucking fried at this point. I'm getting flashbanged by my own PowerPoint. I feel like it'd be a more involved process, so if you're switching cars during a chase, you gotta actually think through that shit. They might not, because, you know, they don't want to make it too inaccessible because it's gonna be the most popular game ever made, but folding chair hype? Oh shit. Yeah, that's right there. We're good. Okay. This is one that I'm on the fence if they'll do, and I could see them having it as an option because you know they're going for realism in so many aspects. I would be stoked if there was finally manual shifting, but I could see a lot of people bouncing off this, and this one I'm less, like, I'm honestly okay if they don't have it, but I would like it. I'm so into that. This one I feel like they could easily have it as an option. You know what I'm saying? Toggleable. There you go. Let's keep it going. Functional blinkertons. Okay. If you add Oblivion lockpicking minigame equivalent to stealing cars. See, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be super in-depth, and it doesn't even have to be something that pops up on screen, but just something to add a little bit of risk, you know? Mix of manual and auto cars. See, that's what I think, because I play a lot of Forza and shit like that, or I have on controller in quarantine, and I'm used to manually shifting the gears. I think for immersion, it would be really cool that if you steal the equivalent to like a 92 Civic, that bitch is gonna be manual, you know? Yeah, we got the Max Payne 3 shit on. I got that GameStop shit on me. Feels like watching actual Jakey Epi live. Yo, that was my goal. When I realized I could do a PowerPoint, I was like, wait, let's cook. So I appreciate you. Gears of War Reload Car Start. I really like that idea because the reload in Gears of War is one of the most satisfying tiny mini games that fully just cranks up that gameplay. Something like that. You know, let the geniuses figure out what it is at Rockstar because they are geniuses. I'm just a fucking dumbass, but having functional blinkers, I think, is a small thing that could add to that immersion. That I feel like everyone has asked for that. And jumping off that point, cops. Okay, here we go. Not the TV show. We're talking about the concept of police in GTA. Okay, scatter. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Boo, yuck. Okay, hear me out. Also, for most of it, I'm not looking at the camera because I'm reading chat, so we can have this sort of back and forth in case anyone in the VOD or whatever is wondering. Bro, drop the playlist. It's good, right? Appreciate you. Thank you. Okay. Based on the massive interest in realistic laws and role-playing servers on 5M, I think Rockstar will make cops more sensitive to reckless driving, such as running lots of red lights or hitting other cars. Now hear me out. I don't think it's going to be as rigid as you hit one car and a cop is nearby and you get fucking 4 stars. You know what I'm saying? But I do think in GTA 5 and 4, you can get away with a lot more shit. I think. See, this is going to vary, and I feel iffy on this because I feel like because the game has to have crazy mass appeal, they won't really lean into a lot of it because too many people will be upset about it. But kind of like the manual shifting in cars, I am a freak where I would actually be really into the immersive element of having to pay a little bit more attention when you're zooming through intersections or bashing into cars. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't have to be super black and white that it's crazy, but I think like, oh, you didn't use your blinker when you turned in front of a cop. No, I'm not saying they should do that because that would get super annoying. It doesn't have to be that level. Sick Reva, thank you for Basil flipping into the pit. Setting you could turn on, see? I feel like there's a happy middle ground. Hopefully more in-depth patterns versus just spawning in front of you. Yes. If someone's gonna figure out how to do this, it's Rockstar. With all the shit that is leaked about them having the interiors of buildings generated and stuff, this is something I talked about a lot in the Red Dead video of like trying to do heists or trying to rob stores, and then, you know, you can't really track the patterns of where cops are because they just spawn in front of you, and GTA 5 is the same way. That's something that I think is huge, where it's like, if you're actually simulating with a police scanner, that's what I'm saying, that you could have at least a certain radius of cops spawning and on their fucking Oblivion, like, Radiant AI shit, and then you could actually plan, like, robbing a liquor store or things around that. That would, oh my god. Find out the next stakeout spots would be cool as hell, yes. It doesn't have to be super fucking, like punishing and crazy inaccessible, but I think just having something where it's not just 2013 GTA 5, a cop spawns right in front of you because you're driving that way with a 5-star. Remove the minimap. That is a hot take, but I'm listening because I'm all for less shit on the HUD. and that could be very immersive. So I'm listening. Just set it to a handicap setting or something. You see, that's the thing, is I think Rockstar, in trying to make the net super wide and having something super accessible, because it's going to sell more than any game ever has, other than like Minecraft probably, I don't see them being super like punishing and crazy with these things. But with how in-depth Red Dead 2 was with certain things, and that even people like me were annoyed by some of them, if they fully go into it, I like it. And that's going to segue into the next shit, but let us honk the horn while the siren is on the cop car. Or listen to the radio while you're in a cop car. Dilly Dally 4381, just basil flipped in the pit. Appreciate you. I will die on this hill. Yes. No, you're right. You're 100% right. And GTA 5, non-dairy dessert. Thank you for joining the pit. Welcome to the discussion. Red Dead 2 introduced that disguise system that I shit my pants while talking about in that dumbass video. And it kind of works sometimes, where if you leave a town and come back and you have a disguise, they won't recognize you. In GTA 5, they introduced where you can like duck when cops drive by, which doesn't really seem to affect it that much, but it's a cool idea. I think doubling down on a disguise system that also lends to what car you're in while the cops are looking for you. It affects it a tiny bit in GTA 5, but not nearly as much to make it super interesting. This kind of shit, combined with knowing the patterns of the cops, I think would make for crazy fucking police chases. Shoplifting clothes to help you disguise. That's what I'm saying. Which that is not a slide that I put in here, but that was something I thought about, is that because they're doing a lot more building interiors, we're yapping away. I think some of those building interiors are going to be stores. In the trailer, Jason's walking out the fucking store with beer. That could be in gameplay. They said some of it is gameplay. So if you can go grocery shopping, or you could go clothes shopping, and you can still enter those buildings while you're on a chase, and you run in and fucking grab some clothes and then run out, and then you get back in the car, and you have to do a fucking more involved minigame to get in that car. These are all things that after Red Dead 2, I think they're possible, man. There's crazy fucking depth to the systems in that game, even though the missions are pretty rigid and all those things, which... Let's keep it crocking. Okay. This is a more brief section, but the weapon wheel. Shout out Max Payne. Because... What are these songs? Okay, this'll work. I think it'll be limited, like Red Dead or Max Payne 3. But I think it's going to be an in-between. I don't think it's going to be as rigid as Red Dead 2 or as limiting. And especially not Max Payne 3, where you literally don't have a jacket to put anything. It's just like a gun on your back and your hands, which I mean, I love Max Payne 3 for that reason and the decisions involved in that and everything. I do think it's going to be more realistic than GTA 5, though. I don't think they're going to let you just have a rocket launcher without something to hide it in. And I think certain clothing options will let you equip more guns, like a longer coat versus having just a tank top or a button-up, or like long pants versus just like some Daisy Dukes or some shit, you know? The leaks showcase the inventory system for a bit. It's closer to Red Dead 2. Okay, personal car has trunk space for guns. Yo, maybe I saw something and that was already in my brain, but here we go. Personal player vehicle, like Franklin's Buffalo in GTA 5, can hold other weapons and inventory in the trunk, like your horse in Red Dead 2. So I must have seen something, because I don't think I made that up on my own, but either way, I love that. I love that shit. I like making that a bit more realistic. Car trunk like the horse saddle. Yeah, no, I like that. When the horse saddle, they eventually fixed some bugs, but when the horse saddle worked in Red Dead 2 and you actually had to walk up to swap guns or get the bow out or whatever, other than your weapons disappearing sometimes when you got on or off the horse, I really like that system, and I feel like it added a lot to the immersion of it, and they were cooking with that. And so something like that in a GTA game where you have to get shit out of your trunk, I'm super into that. And to make it less annoying, an unlockable service where there's a service that can deliver your personal car to you when you're inevitably on the other side of the map, which Mafia 3 did a lot of stuff like this. I don't remember exactly how it works, but I'm pretty sure you could have your personal car delivered, and you could also call for a car service that came to sell you guns, but they sold it out the fucking trunk. And so if it's kind of those things combined, Mafia 3 is really bunk, but really cool in a lot of different ways. I feel like it's slept on a lot. The story's really good. GTA 4, you call a gun van and buy shit. Yeah, so it was in that before Mafia 3. Let's give credit where it's due, but it's, Missed the Sony presentation. What are your thoughts on it? I don't know, chat. What do we think? It was Goobs in this bitch. Shout out Timbo talking. You talking about that, Timbo? What the fuck Timbo talking about? He talking about nothing. What Timbo talking about? He talking about nothing. Holy shit, it was ass. Yeah, it was pretty mid. The Ghost of Yote shit, I know Goob's gonna fuck on that. The Arc Systems fighting game, Marvel, that's gonna be sick. fucking James Bond IO, even though the trailer was just like pretty good. That game is gonna bang because it's IO and Hitman, but overall, it's kind of just what you expected. You know what I mean? It's a Sony presentation. Go on and fuck on it, Goob. What the fuck? The exciting stuff was already announced. Yeah, okay. Let's keep it crocking. We're getting closer to the end of my slideshow, but let's talk about missions. Let's talk about a thing that I have not shied away from screaming about in several videos of mine, and I really die on these hills and I talk too much, and you know. Let's get into this. I do think it's going to be very similar to GTA 5 and Red Dead 2. Prison just basil flipped in the ball pit, and I feel like Prison, thank you. I do feel like some of the leaks, not that I would look at them because I'm not a sinner, but I feel like some things have already hinted to this, you know? Don't die on a hill, we fuck with you. Yeah, I fuck with you, young skirt. I'm a skirt on back. RC mission coming back, dear God. Oh man, I feel like they learned. Okay, well, here's my shit. Please bring back the GTA 3 open-end mission where you get the mission done in multiple ways. See, that's what I'm getting at, is I think you can have your cake and eat it too. I'm not asking... I feel like I'm pretty obnoxious in demands or criticisms sometimes, especially in the Rockstar video. I'm not asking for the game to be totally different because I love the stories they tell, specifically GTA 4 and Red Dead 2 and Max Payne 3, but Red Dead 2 especially. And especially with the honor system, which, fuck, I forgot to talk about that in the slideshow, but I think the game could have some sort of honor system because there's no denying that the ludonarrative dissonance of like what you do in the open world versus what you do in the story is bigger in GTA versus any other game. And specifically GTA 5, like Michael is a criminal, but he's also a family man. But whenever you're in free roam, you can rocket launch any fucking man, woman, child on the street and it doesn't change the story. And that's just GTA, and we all just kind of accept it, just like Nathan Drake shooting everyone and we just kind of accept it, you know? But I think because Rockstar wants people to be able to do that free roam chaos and not be punished for it in the story, I kind of doubt they will do something like this. But having some sort of honor system like Red Dead has, and anyone that has looked into it, there's actually a shit ton of differences in the story beats. Not monumental ones, but enough to make it feel like it's impactful in Red Dead, where your honor changes certain scenes and how Arthur treats people. A street cred system, that would be cool too, like some New Vegas territory stuff. But I don't predict GTA 6 will have like an honor system, but I think if they had it even in a little bit way where like Jason or Lucia will treat each other differently depending on how much of a shithead they are in the open world, I doubt it, but you know what I'm saying? We might as well just shoot, rob, and steal cars in real life. At what point is this a video game in real life? Are we not overthinking this Artemis Fowl? No, we are. We are 100% overthinking it because me and you and everyone else, we like to just do crazy shit and be evil in video games. And I'm not saying you should be punished for that, but I think in the sense of, in a pursuit of immersion and storytelling, I think if it had just a tiny bit of effect. Just like in Red Dead. It doesn't change the whole story, but it has enough of an effect to make it feel like your choices meant something. And that's all I'm getting at. Okay. I do think it'll still be very on rails in the missions with the scripted set pieces like 5 and Red Dead 2, but I hope there's at least a little bit more wiggle room for freedoms during missions, aka stealth actually working or not immediately failing you if you go in the wrong route. If you go the wrong route somewhere. Bye, Goob. Stay safe, King. Love you, Goob. Time back into play pool. Just want to say hi, chat. Love you, Gooby. So I don't know what this song is, but I kind of like it. But this one's sick too. Okay. I think it'll be largely the same as 2, right? Where absolutely shows a direction of design philosophy toward, 100%. But GTA, in that guy's first comment, defense, talking about Artemis Fowl, in his defense, they are very different games where I feel like GTA and Red Dead is asking a little bit more of you, and even though it's a massively popular game, it's niche enough, at least a tiny step up from GTA where they could make those risks. But I feel like with GTA, Rockstar would have to have some pretty huge balls to piss people off in that way. But with GTA 4, they kind of did that, and now everyone loves GTA 4. So I think they can make some risks because they want to surprise people, you know? You got to take some risks if you want to wow people. But I think missions will by and large be linear, but depending on if you pick Jason or Lucia, the structure and objectives will differ. I think that is very accurate. I 100% agree with that. That I think that they're still going to be very linear in the big beats and what is happening to you in these crazy set pieces when you're on a plane and shit. But I just hope that between switching between the two characters, like you kind of could in the missions in GTA 5, and that all these games have stealth, but it never actually works and it's never consistent and you can't really tell why you got caught. I think if they just give you a tiny bit more freedom in these linear missions, I would complain a lot less, but obviously these games aren't just made for me and I gotta have a realistic, expectation. But because the game seems to be about doing heists and fucking crimes and shit because it's GTA, I think that the heist in 5 had a lot of potential. And if you play the heist online, even though it's a pain in the ass to set up, it's really satisfying to coordinate with teammates and stuff, and it showed that they could have more depth. Whereas in the single player, it's like, yeah, you make these choices of, oh, I want to pay less to have this guy and do this, and it's like different, but it's still scripted in its differentness. I think if it took a little bit of inspiration from a Hitman or a Payday, and that emergent things could actually happen in those missions, right? So like even if it's in a mission or the open world, you're robbing a liquor store, that it could have all these different outcomes, also tying in with the police having patterns and cars being hard to steal. Like, I'm not asking for it to not tell a linear story. I think I'm just asking for it to not be like Red Dead, where if you literally go an inch away from the yellow line, you fail the mission. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Gang system, kind of like we saw in Cyberpunk, with varying consequences or rewards based on your choices. Yeah, I think that a territory system like New Vegas or fucking San Andreas in a basic level would be really sick. And dude, it's Rockstar, right? So like even if the story is really fucking linear, they're still gonna have surprises. And based on Red Dead 2, even though I know it's not being fully written by Dan Houser, who just popped off with Red Dead 2 and that will probably be his opus, I like lower the song volume. I feel you. I think that they will experiment a bit more because they can only go forward, and I think that Red Dead 2 got enough of pushback. And I'm not even saying just because my video, like yes, it is my most viewed video, but like not everyone who's played the game has fucking seen it, and I doubt anyone at Rockstar has seen it or taken note or anything. I'm not saying that, but I do feel like in conversation with people that even fucking love Red Dead, they have complained about certain missions being way too rigid, and I don't think Rockstar is gonna like ignore that when making their next thing, and especially trying to wow people, Not my idea, but I heard someone suggest they could have flashback missions based on Jason Lucia background. Since Jason was a soldier, maybe there's mission from his military time, or Lucia doing a cage fight or something, 'cause she was a fighter. Thoughts? 100%. Dude, honestly, I imagine that they're gonna start the game with Lucia in jail. Because, that's in the trailer, and whether that's like modern or pre the events of the game, I could see them 100%. Holy shit, Benny Boo the Bard has joined the pit. Thank you for joining the pit. Gilly had said, not to derail, and maybe you have a slide. Do you think they dive deep into GTA RP? Yes, 100%. I mean, they bought 5M, and like, that's the online of GTA 6 is gonna be its whole own fucking beast, dude. 100%. But I this is not even part of this slide, but on my own, I've had the thought that like, I think it's gonna be starting with you, yes, doing chores in prison, and that you get into a fight, and that teaches you the melee combat, and then you eventually get out, and then when Jason picks you up, it switches to Jason, and that's how you learn how to drive, because you pick her up and you're going home. Like, none of this is probably real, but I'm just saying it for the fact that if that does end up being how the game starts, I'm gonna be stoked. But that felt like a logical thing to just have, like, because tutorials, they keep you boxed in anyways, and a prison is exactly that, and then they slowly ease you out. How many gigabytes is it gonna be? I don't fucking know. Too many for my ass. Above my pay grade. Get so savage. Thank you for savagely basil flipping into this. Okay, let's move on. So we've already kind of talked about this stuff. This is my ending bits. I think it will be a mix of tone, essentially, of GTA 5 and Red Dead 2. I think that it's going to be definitely more serious than Red Dead 2, or than GTA 5. Shiny Ditto, thank you for basil flipping. I think that it's going to be more serious than GTA 5 because that definitely was pretty goofy and spoofy in its tone, and the single player had some serious moments, but it wasn't really like emotional, and you weren't really like connecting with these relationships and things other than like laughing at what Lamar says. But I don't think it's going to be as serious and as like, I don't want to say like well scripted, because I think it'll be well written, but like Red Dead 2 just has such good writing and performances because it's not also trying to be this spoof on America, that it can go to these places that maybe GTA won't go to. But I think 4 did that. And so I think that if it's a bit more like 4 than 5 and a bit more like Red Dead 2 than 5, I think that I would love that. I'm not asking for it to be the super serious fucking drama, but I think it could be a little Better Call Saul. You know what I mean? Where it's like, it's a drama, but there's plenty of goofy comedy moments baked in that drama, versus GTA 5 feeling mostly like a satire with some drama in there. Does that make sense? 4 is pretty goofy still. Exactly. No, 4 has super goofy missions and shit, but it was the first GTA where it felt like they were really trying to get that cinematic story of like, holy shit, where is this going and how is it going to end and blah, 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 you know? Hot take 2, I really think that switching the characters was the worst mechanic to add to the franchise. Yeah, I think for the time it was like really exciting and really cool. My throat's getting dry from yapping so much through all this. Can we watch trailer 2 after PowerPoint? 100%. Dude, 100%. I think, yeah, for the character switching in GTA 5, I think it was like super impressive and a super innovative concept when the game came out, but in practice, like, I don't know, I think for those set pieces, it was cool that it was an excuse to keep, not an excuse, but a tool to keep the pace up. So like if one character is getting into a building and then it's starting to get boring, it can switch to the other character who's like ziplining down the side of the building. And in those moments, it was cool. But I feel like they could have utilized it a bit more, because that's not really the first thing I think about when I think about GTA 5. I just think about mostly playing as Franklin and using the driving special. But like, you know? Anyways, lowering it down to 2 characters is good, since in 5 the relationships between Mike, Frank, and Trevor was static. Yeah. So I think the fact that they're keeping the character switching, but it's a Bonnie-Clyde relationship, like someone's saying, is such a good premise for a GTA game. Like, whoever came with that popped off, because you get a female protagonist, you get to keep the character switching, you get to have more representation of what character people mostly want to play. Like, I think that that's such a good move. And this, you know, Digismall saying the character switching made it hard for them to connect with any of them, like I did with Arthur. Yeah, I think when you have 3, that's like, you know, two's a party, 3's a crowd, whatever the fucking saying is. I think with 2 they could really pop off with that, and especially it being a story about that romantic and like partners in crime relationship. But with no spoilers, we don't know how it ends. I think the game will heavily involve them being pitted against each other for different reasons, and maybe depending on the player's actions if they get crazy with it. And I think like 5, holy shit, Tarmac OST, Zero ST, thank you for joining the pit. I think like 5, that will heavily be involved in the ending, because like Red Dead or GTA 5 or whatever, your actions dictating, spoiler alert, plug your ears if you've never played Red Dead 2, I'm not going to say specifically, but kind of dictates who you're going to play as in the epilogue of, you know, who's left alive. I think they're going to do that. And I think, though, unfortunately in some ways, Days 1764, thank you for flipping in the pit, I think like with 5, I think they're going to kind of cop out a little bit. I think it's too obvious and hope it's more creative. I've had that thought too, where I had to just put this out there, but I think they're a lot smarter than that to do something that's super expected. Everyone's saying Jason is an undercover cop. Whoa. You throw that in with the ludonarrative dissonance open world rampage shit, and you got a mind fuck of a thing to figure out, man. If you're like me and you overthink stuff, this is going to be like overthinking Olympics. That's going to be awesome. But I do think that if they did something like that, they're going to have an option where both get to stay alive, like they did in 5, which I also was a little disappointed they did that in 5. Gotham Knight just basil flipped. Appreciate that. They're like, obviously everyone's going to pick to keep them all alive at the end of 5, and that they just fucking, they just kill the guys that have been fucking with them, and it's like, oh, the satisfying thing, we're all friends. But I feel like 5 would have had a much more memorable ending if it actually made you choose. Like, you actually had to kill one of them, and then that affected the relationships in the epilogue or whatever. Like, I think that would have been a bit more ballsy. Jakey, bro, you have a hype train right now? Let's fucking go. Bear is legend. Basil flipping into that. Appreciate you. Goopy Goblin Gamer Brain is going to go crazy with the open world shit. Yeah, dude, like I said, this is going to be the overthinking Olympics, 100%. No, Option C felt like canon. I think, and that's the thing, is that I'm like saying I kind of disappointed that, you know, they did that one launch. Thank you for Basil flipping, but like, for what 5 is in the tone of that game being more lighthearted and silly, I agree with you that that's the option I picked, and that's the option everyone picked. But I think in a game where it's more tonally like a Red Dead 2 or like a GTA 4, I think having that option where everyone gets to stay alive and it's a perfect happy ending, I feel like that is a little bit of a cop-out, and tonally that doesn't really hit. But this is all just in theory, game theory. Shout out Matt Pitt. What the fuck do I know? I'm just a huge fan of these games, and I got a Max Payne shirt from GameStop. Sir Baker's Dozen, thank you for Basil flipping into the pit. NKD Pito, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gifted subs. What the fuck? Imagine Red Dead 2 had option C. See, that is the perfect way to summarize what I'm saying. It's like you think about the ending of Red Dead, and you think about it having a thing where it's like, nah, no one has to die, and there's no stakes, and it's, you know, like when everything is leading to that. What did this person say? It turns out that the main character is actually Rogan joking. Aight, Dan. Anyways. Okay. Our last section. I think Rockstar knows this game has been worked on for 1 billion years. It is the most anticipated piece of media to probably ever exist. I think, even though they're like, it's Leonida and it's already a huge fucking map that's going to dwarf anything else they've made and be so much more detailed, and it's going to blow everyone's mind and it's going to be insane. I do think they're going to pull a Red Dead 2. Again, stop watching if you've never played Red Dead 2. It's not a story spoiler, but just kind of what happens in the open world. I think similar to Red Dead 2 having a massive surprise of like, hey, here's the entire New Austin map from the first game remade, and we barely did anything with it, and it's in online, and we didn't, you know, there's not a whole lot in here, but here it is, and it's just as detailed as the rest. Like, when you go there in Red Dead 2 in the epilogue, it's like, wait, what the fuck? It's such a crazy surprise. I think GTA 6 could do something similar, maybe not on the same scale. I think in a crazy world, they do Liberty City. And hear me out, that's so fucking nuts. It's a whole different fucking ecosystem in a whole different city. But how fucking nuts would be that they talk about Lucia's from there. You see a Liberty City license plate in the trailer, I'm pretty sure. I don't think they do it, but I have to, this is a prediction and wish list. I think that fucking aim for the GameStop, shoot for the stars. You know what I'm saying? We saw Georgia looking plates. See, and that's my other thing is that, or maybe you just do another city out of the Leonida state that is like an updated version of GTA 5, which would be crazy because that is the most recent one they've made. Deval223, thank you for Basil flipping. Every GTA game, you go to a different place except 3 in Red Dead 1. It's true. In San Andreas, you go back to Liberty City for that mission. Gingerman21, thank you for Basil flipping into the pit. In Vice City, do you go to a different place and I'm just forgetting? I'm like trying to remember all of Cuba Bay of Pigs mission. Oh, I don't think so. Yeah, I've beaten Vice City several times going to be undercover cop. Yeah, dude, this whole undercover cops shit you guys are talking about is feeling really likely in a story like that, and would honestly surprise me, even though it's kind of trope, whatever. Where do you go in 4? Like, I think 4 is a bit ambitious, like having all of Liberty City in 6 when they're already doing all this other shit, and it's such a different type of map, and they'll probably save that for GTA 7 or whatever. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just like Brooklyn or something that you could fly to, but also that would be weird. But maybe it's GTA 5 or at least Los Santos updated to then at least have it for an online version too, just like New Austin mostly being for online. I don't know. It would still take a lot of work to update GTA 5 to the standard that GTA 6 will surely be at, but Red Dead 2, you had to go to that completely different island, so they've done it before. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, they know people are going to have their minds blown by how detailed it is and how crazy the gameplay is, but like, I still think they also have a crazy surprise given how long it's taken. I just had to throw it out there. Frost typical. Thank you for Basil flipping. Or it could be like a modern Saint Denis, because that's also south, but that's also making me realize, does GTA and Red Dead, is that confirmed to be the same fictional US universe? I don't know if it is. I feel like someone in chat's gotta know. Nope. Good question. Holy SAMB. GTA 7 might take 20 years. Thank you, Frost. Oh, I already thanked Frost Typical. Even the website made it huge based on the locations. Right, which it's gonna be huge. I mean, Leonida, that's like the combination of Florida and like fucking Louisiana and just southern states. Like, it's already gonna be fucking crazy, and they're gonna have like huge Vice City along with, I think, like the Keys and other cities in one map. It's already gonna be nuts. Cuba. Okay, I don't think you're being ironic at all. I think that would actually be a crazy choice because everyone always talks about a GTA game in a city that isn't in America would go crazy, and that would be kind of their way of doing that. That would also make sense for Florida. That I think you're cooking with that. And New Orleans, that's what I'm saying. Like Saint Denis or something, or like in Atlanta that could be also in the area, but it's just not revealed till the end of the game. And so you finish the campaign and then it's like, hey, here's this whole entire other city. Like, I could see it. Or just that like the ending of the game and those set pieces put you in a different place like Cuba or, you know, New Orleans or something. Are we cooking, chat? I think we're kind of cooked, but I think we're kind of cooking. A little bit. Louisiana and Theo Von, yeah. Going back to the radio station stuff, I think you guys were right with Theo Von. I think that that's a more accurate pick, but we shall see. We shall see. No, Memphis. Yo. Rockstar Games has explicitly stated that the Easter eggs and nods between it are not meant to imply. Yeah, that was kind of the impression I was under. And also just tonally and all those differences. But I don't know, they could change that. I mean, Nintendo said a bunch of shit about the Zelda timeline and then they went back on all of it. So it's like, things could change. I don't fucking know. Nico Bellic cameo, I know. He's still probably my favorite GTA protagonist. GTA 4 story has its issues, and the ending, I go back and forth on how I feel about it and just like the whole story in general. But like, let's watch the GTA 5 trailer, but honestly, we should watch the original trailers for GTA 4 because those were some of my favorite. Let's just get hype and chat, and then we'll play CS2 to end off the stream. We'll get a couple games in, but the end. There we go. There it is, chat. So, what do we think? What do we think of the presentation? Did we have good discussion? Do we? If I brought that to my history class, and you know you're a substitute teacher, what would you give that? What's the grade? I'm gonna take a chomp of this sandwich and let me know. Clap? A+? Shit. Thank you. Someone just saying, "Yap God cooks, ball pit is sweaty." Dude, I love someone just saying, I missed it, I just got here. Imagining a teacher saying that as you're doing a presentation and they come in and they're like, sorry, I missed it.